All right, greetings to Black South Africans, in particular the mighty Zulu Nation, and greetings to the African community, because now I'm going to be addressing the YouTube video that we got referred to by Willem Pretzel. And then, yeah, greetings to the world audience regarding the rise of the globalist left. And the invitation of President Cyril Ramaphosa to the conference that was held, is it hosted by Spain? And what we have been observing happening in Spain recently, which I would add, issues like the legalization or the granting of citizenship to 500,000 illegal immigrants to Spain. Uh, And then my point here is to reiterate what I've said many, many times, that the African National Congress does not and has never represented black South Africans. So let me go straight to what the ANC represents. ANC has always represented globalist ideals of European whites. People tend to want to look at Europeans as monologues white people who are all capitalists, intentionally ignoring white socialists, white communists, etc. People tend to only focus at the Nazism of conservative extremist whites and ignore a similar type of Nazism in the left. Nor is the center any holy, because then again, to be in the center is truly to be an undecisive person. Never belong to lukewarm people. You are either yes or no. You cannot be in the center. I am on the right-hand side. I am a Christian and I'm a Zulu. If you're a Christian or any nation, if you believe in your nationhood or whatsoever, or rather this which has been misconstrued as Nazism, when we speak about nationalism, it's like you are speaking about Hitler stuff, which is a lie, also pervaded by the Jewish side of the world. The Jewish liberals, Jewish socialists, Jewish communists, they love attacking nations as if Nazis when we defend our nationhood. And they charge us with nationalism as though nationalism is wicked. It's not. To be proud of who you are, to defend the interests of your nation is exactly correct. All right. So now, Cyril Ramaphosa has never been a representative of black South Africans. Has never. Even the Constitution, when it was compiled, it was not even a compilation process of in terms of that Constitution. It was already decided in Europe to use South Africa as a front for their quests. All right. I said this case that is being taken to Israel, to the ICJ by Cyril Ramaphosa and his ANC under the watch and protection of the DA is again not something that is representing black South African interests. Rather, the ANC is always an organization used to drive agendas of European white socialists and them hiding behind their black faces in their agendas against their Jews that they hate, white socialists, even other white liberals, even white conservatives, indeed also white communists, they do hate Jewish people. What Hitler was to Jewish people was not just only Hitler. It's just that on his case, he went extreme. But a lot of white people are like that. All right. If they are not like that to Jewish people, they are like that to black people. All right. They do genocides. They do horrible things. All right. That is what is happening even here in South Africa. All right. The Willem Brazil Boer racists, they say there's a genocide against Boer. They know that they are lying. It's not true. They know. And they know the wicked, evil things that they as Boer are doing to black South Africans, and they never speak about those things. And if we were to go through counts as to how many people are dying, you discover nasty stuff. Anyway, so we're not there. I'm just saying, Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC have never represented black South Africans. The conference that Cyril Ramaphosa has been invited to is exactly the conference of the people that the ANC has always represented. Now, when these white devils, the South African whites, because you know what, South African whites are the cause of a lot of confusion on earth and the lack of solidarity on the premise of ideologies between similarly affected races, or not even similarly, between affected races by the elites, however, with the black race being the worst affected. So white South Africans can see these wicked things that Willem Brazil is speaking about when it comes to the international community. But in local affairs, the same Willem Brazil never speak out against white socialists, communists, and them. They never. They don't even try to expose them. They don't show. They have all the means to show that the ANC has never been the representative. Are they trying to be representatives of black South Africans? But it's not convenient for their quest within the South African community, because in South Africa, the Boer themselves, and therefore the white, are the elites. So when it comes to globalist elite evils internationally, they know all truths. But when they are doing exactly those things as a collective against black South Africans as South African whites, then they are correct. Then it is we black South Africans who are imagining things failing to be accountable. No. The poverty of black South Africans has not been caused by the ANC alone. If the poverty of South Africa was caused by the ANC, white people will be similarly affected. There are two or more factors which have contributed to the poverty of black South Africans. It has always been white colonialists first. Secondly, white Boer. The effects of colonialism and apartheid will linger. Rather, we can argue about the extent therein where we can blame the policies of the ANC. But now I'm saying we have always known that the ANC never came to South Africa to represent black South Africans. Boer know that. They've always known that the ANC represents whites who look like them of Europe. But conveniently, hardly speak about the white factor or the whites who own the ANC. They know them. They even know who is funding the ANC. They know all things. They've got all the intelligence. They're not sitting under dams of South Africa with intelligent staff for nothing. They know everything, those people. But they are not exposing when it's going to inconvenience their whiteness. And only in international affairs are the Willem Brazils so eloquent in speaking the truth. To speak the same truths and assessments against white conservatives, Boer in particular, the evils that they do, so that we clean this thing, so that we are able to but to have to work together on common quests, like the quest against the onslaught of your Boer nation, our Zulu nation, other black nation, by globalists. All right? We've got a similar challenge. You know that the ANC is not doing land redress. They are stealing the land, in parading land redress, but they're not only stealing it for their black selves. You know that they are also working for BlackRock, those whites of Europe that you are speaking about. They are working for them. You know that very well. You know that in this land redress, they are not. First and foremost, the issue of land redress is not even supposed to be handled by politicians, but by people who are custodians of black land, kings. You know that very well. You know. So now, you know that the ANC is not seeking to do land redress. They haven't done it. Land redress can never give South African land to black foreigners, first and foremost. The Ramaphosas and them, all these blacks who have been given farm, on what basis did they get those farms? Why has land redress benefited ANC people who have got no right to off-claim to even those lands? Because it's not about land redress. It's the same thing which was done by ZANU-PF. There was a legitimate quest to do land redress because whites of Zimbabwe are racist, wicked beings who never wanted to actually do what is correct, still holding on to their Rhodesia desires and the likes. This is Africa. It's a continent that was allotted by God to blacks, whether you like it or not, Boer or whatsoever. You come from Europe. That is the fact. So now here in land redress is exactly necessary, and you knew that there are many black South Africans who are not supportive of without compensation. But when you want to make your wicked racist points, you make as if all black South Africans are for expropriation without compensation. But when you look at the onslaught of open borders promulgated by white capital, including Boer, then you might as well do expropriation without compensation. If you are that able to murder and genocide black South Africans to this poverty, their point, which is what I'm making, that is not only the ANC which has created their poverty levels that are in black South Africans, because if it was the ANC alone, the white race of South Africa would be similarly affected, perhaps not the same extent, but similarly affected. They're not. So therefore, white capital also contributes to the destruction of the black South African people. Whatever our ideologies, it doesn't matter. We are seen as homogeneous by white races that you are. Going back to the earlier point where I was saying people have got a problem of seeing Europeans as though they are homogeneous capitalists, whereas there are all these wicked devils called socialists. Capitalists themselves are wicked. Liberals are wicked. Communists are the devil's own. All right. So now, if in South Africa, the white race of South Africa has actively worked, whether they are socialists, liberals, communists, conservatives, you are working together against black South Africans. These so-called communists of yours, where are they staying? Are they staying in Soweto? No, they are enjoying the privileges of whiteness. They speak in media and newspapers, but they stay in the comfort and the protection of the white capital world in suburbs. The fortress is built to ensure that white people are immune of every evil that happens in South Africa, because white people stay in fortresses. Their economy was created for white people, to protect white people, whatever happens. So that is why whatever black governments do, white people are only sitting at 4% poverty. And then they cry to the international community, BEE caused this. You guys are wicked. You're so evil. It's got nothing to do with BEE. That's not the cause. The cause is your white capital, the sabotage and everything. within it to make black people fail, especially indigenous people. The opening of our borders, their own manipulations, that theft of, of trillions of rands. You ensure that Old Mutual goes to England in order to take our monies and go place them in European economies. Right during Thabo Mbeki's tenure, you call Mbeki a better president, but you took Old Mutual to Europe during Mbeki. You white people. That's what you did. So you engineered the failure of black people, and then you think we will blame the ANC alone. If it was the ANC, even white people would be suffering similarly. The extent would vary, but they will be suffering similarly. That's not the case. So white capital has got a hand, a big hand, in the poverty of black South Africans. The glaring one being it is whites who are opening our borders. It is whites. You've got to speak about those Boer, the French Boer. You must speak about those wicked devils. You are not speaking about them as Dutch Boer, because there's a distinction. Why don't you expose their evils? Because the French people are wicked. They are the major leaders of the globalist elites. We're seeing that conference, Spain was the leader in slavery trade, blah, 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 blah. So Latin America, of course, was designed as a result of the Spanish slavery trade. So we can say, okay, in this conference, they are still linked as Latin America in their agenda. Although Brazil is not part of it as such, is that fake president over Brazil went in there through fraud. Their fraud that the DA did in May 2024 to steal South Africa's election. You know, as Boer, you know very well that the DA stole elections. Why didn't you expose them? You know everything that they did. Your people attended those late evening white-only meetings, planning all these wicked things. But you know, in South Africa, because you as white conservatives, you benefit from globalist agendas of the liberal world here in South Africa. So you're going to protect those gains, whatever means. That's the problem, because you are not honorable men. Where it benefits you because you are white, you will be silent and blame blacks for the same thing that you can see is happening internationally, and it is to be blamed on white globalists. They are the ones who are pushing these agendas. The whole Latin America you're speaking about is white. Spain is white. Portugal is white. France is white. Those people you count from the USA, these are people who are behind Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC. They are white. We've always known that the ANC is representing white interests of the Europeans who are not who are not conservatives, and some who are not that much liberal, or they are liberals, because the ANC also has a lot of liberals within it. All right, so you shouldn't speak half truths. You've got to speak the whole truth. Yes, the ANC has never represented black South Africans, and yes, that conference that is sitting, what you Willem call the rise of the left, it has never been the left. It has always been there. The ANC has always been representing those left-leaning Europeans. They are the ones who own the ANC. The ANC has never represented black South Africans. It's a globalist ideal since 1923, has hijacked out of our hands and has remained so. And in a way, I now am saying you are correct to charge treason in that Rivonia thing, because this Freedom Charter was not written by black South Africans. Treason happened there. That's the other point. I know this one will offend my blacks. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to be loved by anybody. Thank you. So that's the people that the ANC represents. Know them and never confuse the ANC with our black South African selves. We are oil and water. It is those people who are opening our borders, plus white liberals. It is those people who are charging Israel with war crimes, not black South Africans. Remember that next time you speak about the ANC. Thank you.